All right, pack your bags because today we're taking a trip to the Tuscan archipelago.
Sounds fun.
Specifically, we're diving deep into Giglio Island.
Ah, Giglio Island.
Our listener wants to know more about this hidden gem, and lucky for us.
We've got some great sources.
That's right. We're going to unpack all the intel, get into the nitty-gritty.
I'm excited.
So think of this deep dive as, I don't know, like a personalized travel guide
Perfect.
curated just for you. Now, before we get started, I just want to tease you with a few, let's call them.
Postcard-worthy details.
Yeah, exactly. Crystal clear waters, unspoiled landscapes, picturesque villages. It's all there.
What's interesting is that Giglio often flies under the radar. Compared to its more famous neighbor, Elba.
I didn't even know it was near Elba.
Oh, yeah. But we'll get into all of that. We're going to unpack why it's worth a visit and why some even call it a pearl and an oyster.
Okay, a pearl and an oyster. That's a pretty enticing image.
Right.
But before we get lost in daydreams of sparkling waters, let's start with the basics. Where exactly is Giglio and how do we even get there?
Well, Giglio is nestled in the Tyrrhenian Sea just off the coast of Tuscany. To get there, you hop on a ferry from Porto Stefano.
Okay, from the mainland.
Exactly. And about an hour later, boom, you're on Giglio.
So it's not too long of a trip.
No, it's a smooth and scenic ride.
No like crazy hydrofoils or anything?
Nope, no need to worry about that.
All right, so let's say we've arrived. We're at Giglio Porto, the harbor town.
Okay.
What other villages should we explore?
Well, even though Giglio's relatively small, we're talking about 13 miles of coastline total.
Okay.
It boasts 3 distinct villages. Besides Giglio Porto, you have Giglio Castello, perched high on a mountain ridge. Think medieval walls, cobblestone streets, probably some incredible views.
Now that sounds like something straight out of a movie set.
It really does.
And then there's Giglio Campese,
Yes, Giglio Campese, more of a seaside resort town.
known for its beaches.
Exactly. So you've got options depending on whether you're feeling that historical vibe or just want to soak up some sun.
3 very different villages.
Yeah.
But if Giglio is as small as you say, I'm guessing we can easily experience all of them no matter where we choose to stay, right?
Absolutely. And when it comes to accommodations, Giglio caters to every traveler.
Oh, good.
Yeah, whether you're on a backpacker's budget or looking for something a bit more luxurious,
Okay.
there are hotels, charming B&Bs, holiday homes perfect for families or groups, even a campsite right by the sea.
Oh, wow, right on the water.
Yeah, if you want to be closer to nature.
Now, all this talk about beaches and villages has me ready to book a flight.
I know, right?
But we need to talk about the natural beauty that Giglio is so famous for.
For sure.
These sources keep mentioning these crystal clear waters.
Right.
What exactly makes them so special?
Picture this. You're gazing out at the deepest shade of blue you've ever seen. The kind of blue that just makes you want to dive right in.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Good. The water is so clear you can see straight down to the seabed. It's this clarity, combined with the diverse underwater landscapes, that makes Giglio a haven for scuba divers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're talking caves, bays, teeming with marine life, a whole other world down there.
Incredible.
And that's not all.
What about above sea level? What about the landscape?
Don't worry, land lovers won't be disappointed.
Okay, good.
The island is covered in this fragrant, wild vegetation called Mediterranean maquis. Think rolling hills, rugged cliffs, hidden coves.
I love that.
It's the kind of landscape that begs to be explored on foot. Luckily, there are plenty of hiking trails.
All right, so we've got the water, we've got the landscape.
Yeah.
You mentioned Giglio has 13 miles of coastline.
Mm-hmm.
What types of beaches are we talking about? Are we talking bustling beaches or hidden gems?
Giglio has a delightful variety. There are 4 main beaches, each with its own distinct personality and size.
Okay.
And then you have the more intimate, almost secret coves.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, those are perfect for those seeking tranquility. You could spend a day on the lively Campese beach, known for its size and amenities, or escape to a hidden gem like Caldane, where you might just have the entire cove to yourself.
Wow, okay.
It's that contrast that really sets Giglio apart.
I love that. You can choose your own adventure.
Exactly.
Now, I'm someone who loves to be active on vacation, so beyond just lounging on the beach, what activities are there?
Well, as we mentioned, the scuba diving is phenomenal.
Right?
The clear waters and the underwater topography make it a truly unique diving experience.
So cool.
But if you prefer to stay above water, you can explore the island on foot or by bike.
Okay.
There are some fantastic hiking paths that crisscross the island, leading you through fragrant maquis and offering breathtaking panoramic views.
That sounds lovely.
And you might even spot some local wildlife along the way.
Ooh, like what?
We'll have to get into that later.
Okay, you've convinced me. This island is going straight on my travel bucket list. But no Italian vacation is complete without experiencing the local food and drink, right?
Of course not.
So what culinary delights does Giglio have in store for us? I'm thinking pasta, pizza, and gelato, right?
Well, you can definitely find all those Italian staples.
Okay, good.
But what you absolutely can't miss on Giglio is the Ensanaco wine.
Oh, tell me more about that.
It's a robust white wine with a unique minerality that comes from the volcanic soil of the island's vineyards.
Wow, so unique to the island.
Exactly. Picture this.
Hmm.
You're sitting in a charming seaside trattoria, the aroma of freshly caught seafood in the air, a glass of chilled Ensanaco in hand.
Oh, stop, I'm getting hungry.
It's the perfect way to end a day exploring this enchanting island.
Sounds divine.
It gets even better. You can only get this wine here.
Look.
About a century ago, the phylloxera outbreak wiped out most of these unique grapes.
Oh, no.
But thankfully, Giglio's vineyards were spared and are now a source of pride for the island.
A truly unique wine with a history.
As rich as the island itself.
I'm sold. I have to try it.
You do?
Now, I know we're deep diving into Giglio, but I'm curious about this side trip mentioned in the sources. The island of Gianutri.
Ah, Gianutri.
What can you tell us about it?
It's a tiny, crescent-shaped island just southeast of Giglio, known for its pristine, untouched beauty.
Okay.
Think dramatic cliffs plunging into turquoise waters, and a sense of tranquility that's hard to find elsewhere.
Ooh, peaceful.
But what makes Gianutri truly special is the Villa Romana, a remarkably well-preserved Roman villa dating back to the 2nd century AD.
Oh, wow, so you can go back in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You wander through the ruins, imagining life as it was during the Roman Empire.
Amazing. So we have stunning beaches, charming villages, and ancient Roman ruins all within reach.
It's quite a combination.
It is. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Our sources describe Gianutri as being hardly developed for tourism.
Right.
Does that apply to Giglio as well?
That's a great question, and it highlights what makes Giglio so unique. While it certainly has tourist infrastructure with hotels and restaurants and organized tours,
Sure.
it somehow manages to retain a sense of authenticity.
Okay.
It's not overrun with resorts or crowded beaches. Instead, it offers this delicate balance.
Balance, I like that.
You can find convenience without sacrificing the feeling of escaping to a truly unique and unspoiled environment.
I'm already picturing myself sipping Ensanaco by the sea.
As you should.
I know. But let's not get carried away just yet.
Right.
We still have a lot more to explore on Giglio Island, so stay with us. Welcome back. Still soaking up that Italian sun on Giglio Island.
Where?
Exploring this pearl and an oyster.
Mm-hmm.
And that idea of balance, like between tourism and untouched beauty.
Right.
It's this unique environment that's helped shape a fascinating ecosystem on the island.
Absolutely.
So much so that our sources dedicate a whole section to the flora and fauna of Giglio.
Yeah, it's really quite diverse.
Okay, so what kind of wildlife are we likely to encounter on Giglio?
Well, you can forget about pigeons. Think more along the lines of rare migratory birds,
Right.
like the Eleanor's falcon. You might even spot them soaring above the cliffs.
Wow.
Or an Otwin's gull, a species you won't find on the mainland.
Okay, and is there anything else?
Oh yeah, and if you're really lucky,
Yeah.
you might catch a glimpse of a wild boar rooting around in the undergrowth.
Hold on. Wild boars.
Uh-huh.
That's a little more wild than I was expecting.
I know, right?
Should we be worried about running into one on a hiking trail?
Not necessarily. They tend to be more active at dawn and dusk
Okay.
and are generally shy creatures. But it's a good reminder that,
We're not alone.
exactly, that we're sharing the island.
Right, with a whole ecosystem.
A whole ecosystem, yeah.
Okay, so we've got falcons overhead, maybe a boar or two in the distance.
Hopefully in the distance.
What about something a little smaller?
Oh, we'll keep an eye out for the Italian wall lizard.
Lizards.
Yeah, harmless, but they have this brilliant green coloring. Hard to miss.
All right, so we've got falcons, boars, lizards.
It's a jungle out there.
It really is. What about the plant life?
Ah! Yeah.
We briefly touched on the Mediterranean maquis earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Can you paint us the more vivid picture?
All right, so close your eyes and imagine this.
Okay, eyes closed?
You're walking through a dense, sun-drenched landscape. The air is thick with the aroma of wild herbs like rosemary and myrtle. Juniper bushes brush against your legs, and the ground is dotted with colorful wildflowers.
It's beautiful.
That's the maki. It's an assault on the senses in the best way possible.
Now, I'm starting to see why they call it a pearl.
Right.
This island is truly a sensory experience.
It really is.
But amidst all this natural beauty, I'm curious about Giglio's human history.
Yeah.
We talk about the Roman villa on Giannutri. What about Giglio itself? Does it have a rich past as well?
Absolutely. Giglio's strategic location in the Tyrrhenian Sea meant it was a desirable spot for various empires and invaders throughout history.
Okay, so who are we talking?
Etruscans, Romans, Pisans, even the Saracens. They've all left their mark on the island's culture and architecture.
So if we were to stroll through the streets of Giglio Castello, for example, what remnants of this layered history might we encounter?
Well, the entire village is a bit of a time capsule.
I bet.
But the most striking feature is this wall.
A wall.
Yeah, it encircles the entire town, dates back to the Middle Ages,
Wow.
built to protect the inhabitants from pirate raids.
I can only imagine the stories those stones could tell.
I know, right? It's fascinating to think about.
So we've talked about the ancient history, but what about the people who live on Giglio today?
Oh, yeah.
What are the Giglisi like?
You know, they're as resilient and diverse as the island itself.
In what way?
Well, shaped by a unique environment, they have this deep connection to the land and the sea.
Makes sense.
A lot of them rely on fishing, agriculture, and of course, tourism.
Right.
But they're known for their warm hospitality.
I love that.
Yeah, they say they welcome you with open arms and a genuine desire to share their love for Giglio.
I imagine living on an island, especially one so small, comes with its own set of challenges.
It does, but also rewards.
Definitely. What do you think those are?
I mean, there's a sense of community and tradition that you don't find everywhere.
True.
The Giglisi have learned to adapt, to live in harmony with nature, and preserve their way of life.
And that in itself is a story worth exploring.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered the natural wonders, delved into the history, gotten a glimpse of the people.
For sure.
Now, before we send our listener off on their own Italian adventure,
Okay.
are there any hidden gems, any off-the-beaten-path experiences you think we should mention?
Well, you know, part of the beauty of travel is discovering those hidden gems for yourself.
True.
But I'll say this. Don't be afraid to rent a bike and explore those winding coastal roads.
I like it.
Or lace up your hiking boots and venture off the marked trails. You never know what stunning views or secluded coves you might stumble upon.
It's all about those unexpected moments.
Exactly. Those often make the best memories.
Absolutely. But before we get too carried away,
Right.
planning our own secret adventures, let's address the practical side of things.
Sure.
How does one actually get around on this island paradise?
That is a good question, and the answer is quite simple. We'll dive into all those logistical details from transportation to finding those authentic local experiences right after we talk a little bit more about this amazing island.
Stay tuned. Your Giglio journey is just beginning. Okay, so we're back and ready to figure out the logistics,
The nitty-gritty.
right, of planning a trip to Giglio.
Right.
We've explored the beauty, the history, the culture. Now it's time to talk about,
How to get there.
well, how to get around once we're there. Where to stay.
Yeah.
All those little details that can make or break a vacation.
For sure. But luckily, on Giglio, the logistics are pretty straightforward.
Good.
It's an island that encourages a slower pace of life.
I like that.
You don't need to worry about traffic or complicated transportation schedules.
Okay, that's music to my ears.
Right.
So we arrived by ferry at Giglio Porto.
Okay.
What's the transportation situation like once we're on the island?
One of the best things about Giglio is that you don't really need a car.
Oh, okay.
The villages are all within walking distance of each other, and the scenic coastal roads are perfect for cycling.
Ooh, I like that.
Imagine pedaling along those winding roads.
Yeah.
The scent of wildflowers, the Mediterranean sun.
I'm relaxed already.
It's the ultimate way to experience the island.
But what if we want to explore some of the more, I don't know.
Remote areas.
Yeah, like the hidden coves and off-the-beaten-path trails.
You're right. For those, you might need a little more horsepower.
Okay, so what are our options?
There's a local bus service that connects the villages and some of the more popular beaches.
So it's reliable.
Yeah, reliable, affordable.
Okay.
Great way to get around without breaking a sweat, especially during those warmer months.
And for those feeling more adventurous?
You could rent a scooter.
Ooh, fun!
Perfect for zipping around those narrow island roads.
Love it.
Or if you're traveling with a group, you could rent a car.
Okay.
Just keep in mind, some of those roads can be pretty winding and steep.
So we need to be confident drivers.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered transportation. Now let's talk food.
Okay.
You've already convinced us about the Ansanaco wine.
Of course.
But what about the rest of the dining scene?
Yeah.
What can our listeners expect?
Giglio offers a pretty diverse culinary experience.
Okay, good.
You'll find everything from casual trattorias serving up fresh seafood to more upscale restaurants with panoramic views.
Fancy.
But no matter where you choose to dine,
Yeah.
you're guaranteed to enjoy that warm hospitality,
Right.
passion that the Giglisi have for their food.
I love that. That's what I love about traveling in Italy.
Yeah.
The food is an adventure.
It really is, full of surprises.
But beyond the delicious meals, the scenery, I want to know about those authentic cultural experiences.
Ah, yes.
How can our listener connect with the heart and soul of Giglio?
Okay, here's an idea.
I'm listening.
Plan your trip around one of the traditional festivals.
Oh, there are festivals.
Yeah, they offer a glimpse into the local culture with music, dancing, food.
Some fun.
It's a real sense of community.
Now that's what I call immersive travel.
It is.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
You really have.
We've explored Giglio from the coastline to the villages, the history, the present. But before we say arrivederci,
Okay.
it's time for our final thought-provoking question.
I like it.
Given everything we've learned
Okay.
about Giglio,
Yeah.
the beauty, the history, the culture,
It's quite a place.
what kind of traveler do you think would most enjoy this island?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And why?
Well, I think Giglio has something to offer everyone, honestly.
I agree.
Those seeking peace and quiet, who want to just escape and reconnect with nature, they'd find their paradise.
Right, but also adventurers and history buffs and foodies.
Exactly. They would all find something to love about Giglio. It's an island that really speaks to the heart,
It really does.
no matter what your interests are.
Right, and it's that balance that makes Giglio so special.
I think so too.
And if you want to explore more,
Yes.
check out that promotional video mentioned in our sources.
It's beautiful.
It captures the essence of Giglio perfectly.
For sure.
All right, listeners, we've given you the map.
Now it's your turn.
It's time to set sail on your own Giglio adventure. Until next time, arrivederci.